Hi, my name's Chris McAlister, born and raised in England, but for the last 18 years living and working in Sweden. Educated in Japan, China, and the rest of Asia. Nowadays I work with a combination of Oriental medicine and what we might call energy medicine. Most of the sources are from China, Japan, the Far East, but those sources also merge into other sources from around the world. So I call it energy medicine nowadays. The actual tools that I use are Shiatsu, acupuncture, Chinese herbs, Qigong and Tai Chi, and assorted meditation exercises, relaxation exercises, and awareness exercises. Awareness is the key to all of the things that I teach. It's the common denominator. So I teach and I do practice, I do treatments in Sweden, and I also get to teach around the world occasionally, in Italy, in the US, the States, and in Israel. So I get to share my discoveries, things that I work with, things that I'm passionate about with people around the world, and it's fantastic, it's wonderful. My own school in Sweden is called Ishin-gakai. Ishin-gakai is Japanese, two Japanese words, and it means, roughly translated, the school of one heart. So the idea behind that is that anybody who enters the school, it becomes their forum for exploration, just as it's my forum for exploration. Maybe I'll lead the course, maybe I'll be the teacher, so-called, but we're all there to learn. That's my basic philosophy. I've got as much to learn from most of my students as they have from me. And they've all got stuff to teach me on different levels. So maybe I'll teach a class and it'll be about some aspect of Chinese medicine or Oriental philosophy. While we're doing it, I might set the agenda, start the practice, but when the practice starts, I'm there to learn just as much as everybody else is, and I love to learn from the students' responses, the things that they find about the subjects which I've raised. So it's fairly democratic in that sense. I like to look at very old sources, as old as possible, and use them in a modern way. By that I just mean we put them on the table, we set up an agenda, how we're going to work with them, and then we see what happens from that. We discuss it in all terms, modern, traditional, Western, Eastern, etc. So the method that I use is what you might call experiential. We learn by doing. We learn by seeing what actually happens in practice when we put these things into action, into practice. Which means I get to learn as much as anybody else does in the sessions. I use body work in the form of Shiatsu, but also in the form of just touch. Because I'm trained in acupuncture, because I'm trained in Qigong and Tai Chi, all of these things circulate around, move around energy. Energy can materialize in many different ways and dematerialize just as easily. Once you engage with another person, let's say in a treating format, then you're in the moment with that person. And what the moment holds, we never know until we get into that moment. So when we get into a meeting with another person, there are always three important factors, at least, but three main ones. Myself, in this case, whoever I'm working with, and the moment. The moment holds its own special secrets, and the closer we can get to the secrets of the moment, the more interesting that moment is going to be, that meeting is going to be for all the people concerned. Same applies to all the classes I teach. So according to the chemistry of the people involved, the people who turn up, the people who are interested, what their interests are, what their level of dedication is, what their awareness level is, and how ready they are to dive in and investigate with me, then the results are going to be slightly different. So in a sense, I regard it as exploration, as research. So I call what I do now in Sweden Shiatsu lab. When I teach Shiatsu, I call it a laboratory. We arrive at the same time, we have an agenda, maybe not. We find out what everybody wants to do for the day, and we do it. And from there we find out what happens. We learn by doing. I learn by doing. And then I can teach it to other people, whatever that is. So it's a cumulative experience. I find that in the cumulative experience, things go round. You come back to the same subjects again and again. Every time you do, it's not the same subject, it's a new subject because you've spiraled through and up to a new level, or maybe down into a deeper level. So the spiral is the key shape in what I teach. There are other key shapes as well. Of course, the 5 elements is a key shape. The yin-yang symbol is a key shape. There are many formations of things. We can talk about the 5 spirits. I love to teach and talk about the 5 spirits, for example, of Chinese medicine. I love to talk about the triple heater and the pericardium. Basically, if one word was to sum it all up, it would be alchemy, the study of change. So how do we cause the change to be as beneficial for us and for as many people around us as possible? If you want to call that a philosophy, that's what I stand for. So, I teach in Sweden, I teach around the world, so next time we see each other, maybe you'll be with me in Sweden, or maybe we'll be somebody else, somewhere else with Vitality Tao Project. I look forward to it.